New information about a now fatal fire in Huber Heights.
This is 5 on 2.
We begin, though, with live team coverage of the winter weather that's been impacting the Miami Valley. Snow showers have been affecting our region much of the day, creating slick streets and some wet weather.
So we're monitoring the road conditions for you through the lens of Live Drive 2 and tracking how long the snow and the wind will be sticking around.
Yeah, we begin there with Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis. He has a first check of your hopefully improving Storm Team 2 forecast.
And it definitely is, Mark and Katie. As you can see on Live Doppler 2 HD, our snow pulling southeastward. Just some light snow showers around the Dayton area. Xenia, most of the snow has ended north of I-70 now. We'll still have a chance for a few flurries overnight, but little, if any, additional accumulation expected. You can really see the bulk of the snow off to the east into central and eastern Ohio tonight. And, of course, as the sun sets, a better chance of accumulating snow. Today, with that temperature just a little bit above freezing, the snow was melting as faster than it could fall. So we even lost most of the snow that was on the ground this morning. Still a couple of blips on the radar scope there up into Michigan and over Lake Michigan. Those will continue to drop southeastward. All the winter weather advisories have been canceled now, and our winter weather index will keep it low tonight just because of those flurries around, but mainly because of some icy patches that could develop out there tonight with the moisture on the road surfaces and then the setting sun and getting down a little bit below freezing. You have to watch out for a little bit of that ice forming. 31 at 7 o'clock, 31 at 8 p.m., 30 degrees at 9 o'clock, mostly cloudy skies. Still breezy, northwest winds 10 to 20, but not as gusty as we've been seeing through the day. Even though it's cold, it's going to warm up again and a big jump again by the weekend. All the details in your Storm Team 2 forecast.
And we're also monitoring the rush hour road conditions at this hour because we will head back below freezing as the night goes on.
2 News reporter Tyler Hutzka is riding passenger in Live Drive 2. Tyler, first, where are you and how are the road conditions there?
Yeah, hi Mark and Katie. We are heading east on 35, still in Dayton, coming up on the Air Force Museum exit here. The lull you see is the usual rush hour traffic. Right now, the roads, I would describe them as a little damp. The flurries falling right now, not really sticking to the road, just kind of melting upon impact. Now, I did call State Patrol to see what they have to say. They, of course, say when you're driving in conditions like this and the temperatures that we may experience tonight, we could experience some refreeze of these roads. Now, so they always say to reduce your speed, to keep plenty of distance between you and another vehicle, and expect the unexpected. The conditions that you're experiencing could be different from the car that's right in front of you. And as always, buckle up. So again, just be cautious if you're heading out, if you're heading home, and always be sure to be cautious when you could experience some winter weather conditions. For now, live, Tyler Hutzka, 2 News, working for you.
All right, Tyler, thank you. And take the Storm Team 2 forecast with you on the go. Download our free WDTN weather app from your app store. And your photos, they help us tell this story. You can share them with us through the reported feature of our website or through the mobile app. Just make sure you include your name and location.
Now to top story number 2. A Huber Heights family is mourning the loss of a 10-year-old girl after she dies in the hospital from injuries suffered in a recent house fire. 2 News reporter Jordan Bowen spoke with fire officials and has the new information for us.
10-year-old Tabitha Whetstone died this morning at Dayton Children's Hospital. Her 39-year-old mother, Brandy Tripodi, and her 4-year-old brother, Daniel, were taken to the hospital Monday in critical condition. We're told both of them are improving. A GoFundMe page has since been started in Tabitha's name to help with the family with their funeral expenses. They've already raised $1,600. They're now asking for donations to go directly to Newcomer Funeral Home. The fire broke out in the 6400 block of Hemingway Road just before 9 a.m. Monday. Before crews arrived, neighbors rushed to the scene to help the victims, putting a ladder up to the second floor window to help them get down. Firefighters were able to rescue all 3 of the family members who were immediately rushed to the hospital. Officials say there were no working smoke detectors in the home. Fire officials tell me smoke inhalation was a major factor in each one of their injuries. Huber Heights Battalion Chief Mike Mole says he applauds those quick-thinking neighbors and his firefighters for the rescue. Now he says his thoughts are with the family.
It's a terrible tragedy, and the fire division is saddened by it. We never like to see any loss of life, but especially someone so young. So it's a terrible tragedy, and our heartfelt sympathies go out to the family.
And the fire department has yet to determine official cause for the fire. If you have any questions about smoke detectors, or if you can't afford to pay one yourself, you should contact your local fire department and they can help you with getting those installed. Jordan Bowen, 5 on 2.
Top story number 3. We're following up on the arrest in the shooting death of a Middletown mother. 34-year-old Brandon Carr was arrested Wednesday afternoon. This is video you will see only on 2 of that arrest. Police believe Carr is responsible for killing Brittany Russell. She was found shot in the head in her vehicle on Free Pike in Dayton earlier this month. Her baby girl was with her in the vehicle, found in the back seat unharmed. We checked, and prosecutors and police have yet to meet to discuss charges.
Well, now to top story number 4. The new grades are in, and the largest school district in the Miami Valley is not passing. Dayton Public Schools, in fact, receiving Fs in 9 out of 10 categories on the state report card, despite district officials' claims that they felt they were improving. News reporter Bill Edley digging deeper into the latest scores for all of our area schools.
David, can you read for me?
Grades aren't changing for Dayton Public Schools. Fs are the average score on the DPS report card, but the district isn't facing any state consequences. At least not yet, even despite changes handed down by Ohio lawmakers. A chronically failing district like Dayton would have a state takeover after 3 years of consistent low scores. But right now, Dayton's low scores won't count. That's because it's been placed in safe harbor. That's when a district is given time to change the lesson plan and get up to speed. In a statement, the Ohio Department of Education says, quote, "We've long expected that grades might decline as we began to raise the bar for our students and schools." ODE's expectation, though, is that DPS and other failing districts will improve. But for now, the grades are F for 4-year graduation rate, even though the district highlights Superintendent Lori Ward for increasing the graduation rate from nearly 60% to 72% from 2010 to 2013. F for K-3 literacy. 57% of third-grade students were reading proficient, even though the district has a renewed focus on third-grade reading. The only grade higher than F was a D, and that's for students' overall performance on state tests. These failing grades come on the heels of a major board decision not to renew Superintendent Ward's contract. Whether or not Ward's contract is renewed, state rules say DPS has 1 year to turn things around. I did request an interview with DPS. They declined to comment. Some of our districts did receive high scores, Centerville, Oakwood, and Kettering receiving several A's. To see a list of where your district falls, go to WDTN.com. Birshal Edmeh, 5 on 2.
Miami Township Police are warning residents about a group of people stealing vehicles in the community. Police say the group is taking cars that are running in front of homes. They had a theft on Jasmine Drive just this morning and several others over the last couple of weeks.
Some fellows are out cruising around in a black or dark colored SUV, and they see vehicles that are idling out at the street, and they're just jumping out and opening the doors and hopping in and taking off.
Police say the stolen vehicles are used in crimes, then abandoned. And they also remind us all that this is a seasonal trend and that leaving your vehicle running unattended is illegal in Ohio.
2 men sentenced to prison in the beating death of another 25-year-old Harley Farrell and 18-year-old Daryl Ferguson were both sentenced to 11 years behind bars. They were accused of beating Ryan Adams to death on Deeds Avenue in Dayton back in 2014. Farrell and Ferguson fought with Adams that day, knocking him unconscious and robbing him. Adams later died from his injuries. Well, now top story number 5. Nevada's Republican governor now says he's not interested in being considered for a spot on the U.S. Supreme Court. Governor Brian Sandoval's office issuing a statement today following news that the White House was considering him as a possible replacement for the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Sandoval not offering a reason for his decision, but did say he was incredibly grateful to be mentioned as a possible Supreme Court nominee. And problems associated with the Zika virus could be worse than originally thought. Now, the virus is typically spread by a mosquito bite. It is strongly suspected as the cause of birth defects in some newborn babies. Well, now, doctors in Brazil have published details of a case in which Zika was found in a severely malformed stillborn baby. The fetus also had signs of severe tissue swelling, and this is now the first report to show a possible link between Zika and damage outside of the central nervous system.
Still to come on 5 on 2, countdown to the Academy Awards, how one nominee is already making history. Keep it right here. We are just getting rolling. From the Academy Awards to a warm weather treat, here's a look at some of what is trending tonight. And we start with long before he was running the White House, President Obama was working the counter behind Baskin-Robbins. The president posted about his first summer job on LinkedIn and announced a new program to help young people experience their first job. The project brings together community leaders, nonprofits, and private businesses to support summer programs.
Actress Jennifer Lawrence is this year's highest paid Oscar nominee. She received, of course, a Best Actress nomination for the film Joy. According to Forbes, Lawrence earned $52 million just last year. The nomination is her fourth. At the age of 25, she becomes the youngest person ever to achieve 4 nominations, and Lawrence earns nearly twice as much as number 2 on the list. Poor Leonardo DiCaprio is somehow scraping by on $29 million.
That's tough. Well, Daytonians, we love our chili. That's according to data from Hormel Chili Brand. The Gem City and Cincinnati together ranked 4th on a list of top chili consuming cities across the country. Oh, hey, Mark loves his chili too, apparently.
I did that day, you bet.
Los Angeles, Dallas, and Houston rounded out the top 3. That's a look at some of what is trending tonight. I love that you were in our video for chili lovers.
Well, that was a chili cook-off that DP&L did to help raise money for Food for Friends. They asked me to be a judge. I said, hey, free lunch, I'm there.
There you go. Well, can we just say Skyline Chili? I mean, we're known,
well, and Gold Star.
for that.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're known for our chili around here.
All right, still to come today here on 5 on 2. I didn't expect that. A deadly storm generates dozens of tornadoes in the southeast. Now it's moving through the northeast, leaving more destruction behind.
And a look outside through our Skycam network. You're looking at the green there in Beaver Creek. We are tracking some wintry conditions right now. Keep it right here for your Storm Team 2 forecast.
Our latest powerful winter storm system that really impacted about half the country is now thankfully moving offshore and into Canada.
But not before killing at least 8 people and leaving behind a trail of destruction, as Chris Pallone shows us.
The powerful storm system which brought tornadoes to the Deep South Tuesday barreled into the Northeast overnight. In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 50 homes damaged. High winds brought down branches, toppled trees, and left thousands without power.
Our trampoline is wrapped around the telephone pole, and then our swing set is in their yard.
Those gusts are blamed for knocking over a tractor trailer and snarling traffic on the George Washington Bridge, the world's busiest. Central North Carolina had more than 20 tornado warnings in one day, more than last year alone. And it's only February. Virginia took a deadly punch. 2 men and a toddler died Wednesday in Waverly, Virginia, when they were tossed 300 yards from a trailer.
I saw the roof's flying everywhere, and what can you do? You're caught up in it.
And a man in South Carolina killed by a falling tree.
The guy, he was laying down, and the tree was on top of him, and he was hurt. She was on top of him.
The storm dumped snow across the nation's midsection and then in New York and New England. Thousands of flights delayed or canceled. A rare and powerful winter storm fueled by the strongest El Nino on record, leaving thousands of Americans wondering which piece to pick up first.
Yeah, you saw some of it there, more now on the Midwest. The heavy snow and strong winds causing problems there. The conditions brought down a power line and started a fire south of Chicago. Also in Illinois, a school bus was involved in a traffic accident. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt. Elsewhere, a semi-truck jackknifed on a slick, snowy road and prompted drivers to just abandon their vehicles stuck in the heavy, deep snow.
Around here today, we certainly saw more snowflakes, but I'll tell you what, the wind was whipping there for a while.
Yeah, we had some pretty good gusts this afternoon, running up between 30 and 40 miles per hour. And of course, most of the snow that accumulated fell during the night when you don't have a little bit of radiation coming through the clouds. Even though we didn't see much in the way of sun today, there's still enough heat coming through the clouds to melt the snow. So as the snow fell today, it just basically melted at the same time. So we haven't seen a lot of additional accumulation. The real good news, just in time for the evening, we'd start accumulating that snow again as the sun goes down, but that won't be the case because we have the precip moving off to the southeast and the snow winding down. So just cloudy skies going into this evening, 31 at 7 o'clock, 30 at 9 p.m., and 29 at 11 o'clock with those cloudy skies. We may see a few breaks in the clouds overnight. 27 at 8 o'clock, a slight chance of flurries tomorrow, 32 at noon, 33 at 5 o'clock with temperatures tomorrow afternoon climbing up into the mid-30s. Our weather headlines, they look like this. Little, if any, additional accumulation, as I mentioned here, for the rest of the night, but still watch out. The moisture out there with the setting sun. We'll see some isolated slick spots develop, especially with those temperatures dropping into the upper 20s and low 30s this evening. Some lingering clouds and cold on Friday, but that is not going to last. A big warm-up is on the way just in time for the weekend. Old record rainfall yesterday, 1.27. We were talking about this. The rain and melted snow yesterday ended up being 1.63, so that established a new record for the day. Our Stall Vision camera still shaking around out there with the windy conditions that we have, the clouds, but the snow flurries and snow showers winding down in Beaver Creek. Pickwa this morning, 2 inches of snow. The official total from this storm, 1.5 inches for the Dayton area. Picked up a ½ inch last night before midnight and then 1 inch since then. And Wilmington, 0.7 of an inch of snow, along with Xenia, and Richmond about a ½ inch of snow. A little bit more as you go to the north and west. You saw those pictures up there into Indiana and up into Michigan. Cloudy skies tonight. SVG Chevrolet camera up in Greenville. Looks like all the snow is melted up there. Live Doppler 2 HD showing dry conditions have returned to downtown Dayton, but still a little bit of snow left over in Washington Township, down in the southwest corner of Greene County around Bellbrook, extending southeastward to Waynesville and around Cedar Creek Lake. Interstate 71 down in Clinton County seeing some of that snow. All moving southeastward, though. Not a whole lot upstream, so we'll just kind of see the clouds around this evening. A chance of flurries. Still a little bit of snow showing up over parts of Michigan, so there could be a couple of flakes of snow here again later tonight. We're at 33 degrees, west wind 22 miles an hour. A wind chill factor tonight at 21. And looking at the wind chill numbers around the region, 20 at Lima, 26 Cincinnati. That's what it feels like out there with those temperatures in the low 30s and gusty winds. But everybody pretty much in the low to mid 30s tonight. Uniform temperatures there. Our future track forecast showing the snow moving away, but a couple of blips showing up again on our future track forecast here tonight and into tomorrow. But really the bulk of the snow has finished, and going into tomorrow night you can see a clearing trend coming in from the west. That'll set the stage for some nice weather for the start of the weekend. Tonight breezy and cold, a few leftover flurries, little or no additional accumulation for the rest of the night. 25 the overnight low, northwest winds 10 to 20. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, chance for a few flurries and a high up to 34 degrees. 30 at 10 o'clock, 32 at noon, 34 at 2 o'clock, even some breaks in the clouds later in the day. We'll clear it out tomorrow night. Lots of sunshine on Saturday, 45. Check out Sunday, up near 60 degrees. Then a cold front comes through Sunday night, some rain showers, maybe even early morning snow shower Monday, but then upper 40s, up to 54 on Tuesday, and then turning colder again on Wednesday with a chance of rain and snow. Mark?
Okay, but again, it will be cold tonight, so we're tracking road conditions for you during this busy evening commute.
Yeah, it could be some isolated slick spots, as Brian said. 2 News reporter Tyler Yuska out there riding passenger and long drive too, so let's check in with Tyler.
Hi, Mark and Katie. We are in Xenia heading east right on Main Street. Conditions still the same from the last time we spoke. The flurries coming down very lightly, turning into kind of a bit of a mist, a mix of a flurry and mist. You can see the roads here still a little damp at this hour. Authorities saying refreeze may be possible tonight, and that's why they're always wanting you to drive with caution. Keep a slower speed just to make sure you see what's going on around you. Be a defensive driver. Keep a good amount of distance in between you and the other vehicle. And remember that when there is possible refreeze, that the bridge and overpasses are the first to freeze over. So always drive with extra caution if you're going to be going over an overpass or a bridge. For now, we're going to send it back to you in the studio. We'll give you another update in about 15 minutes. Mark and Katie?
Okay, Tyler, be safe. Thank you. Still to come today here on 5 on 2. Can his Republican rival slow the momentum of Donald Trump? Tonight's GOP debate in Houston could be their last chance to make a serious move before Super Tuesday.
And time is ticking to file some smart tax breaks you can take advantage of. And join the conversation here anytime on 5 on 2. You can tweet us, hashtag 5 on 2, or you can find us on Facebook /5 on 2.
With tax season right around the corner, wealth strategist Rob Russell from Russell & Company joins me now with the important information you need to know ahead of April 15th. So happy to have you back.
It's great to be back.
So April 15th, it's coming up.
Well, actually, it's April 18th this year, just because the way the days fall. It's really weird. Monday, April 18th.
So we get a little extra time.
Yeah, you get an extra weekend to get your taxes done.
Which is really good. So let's talk taxes. What are some smart tax breaks that we should be taking advantage of? When we start thinking about our taxes, there are some things that get overlooked.
That's right. Well, it's not too late to make one special deduction on your tax return as long as you qualify.
Okay.
And that is to fully fund an IRA contribution for 2015. You see, you have up to April 18th this year to contribute up to $6,500 per person, depending on your age.
Okay.
So if it's a married couple and they're over age 50, he can contribute $6,500, she can contribute $6,500 for a total of $13,000 into an IRA. And then you could also double it by making a contribution at the same time for 2016.
Okay.
So you make one for 2015 and 2016, and you get a deduction for last year and this year's tax return.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Very good, kind of a hidden deduction there. As far as an HSA, what do we need to know there?
So if you qualify for a health savings account, you can contribute as a family up to $6,500 per year. Now, that's not going to help you on your 2015 return,
Okay.
but it will help you on your 2016 return.
So planning ahead there is really
Yes.
the big message.
Yeah, and what's great is you put the money in, you get a deduction, and when you use the money for a qualified medical expense, it comes out tax-free. Everybody loves tax-free.
Everybody likes to hear tax-free.
Yes.
When we start doing our taxes and investing, how do we do so in an efficient manner? And what does that mean to someone who's preparing their taxes?
So investments, some are tax efficient,
Okay.
some are tax inefficient. And I was raised by a CPA. So I was always taught at a young age, it doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you make after taxes
Okay.
that counts. It's the net
Which makes sense.
that counts. So there's some investments that are not tax advantaged, they're tax
Okay.
inefficient, things like mutual funds as an
Okay.
example. And then if you're going to own a tax efficient investment, instead of mutual funds, stocks are way more tax efficient. They're taxed at a much better rate,
Okay.
and you have a lot more control.
That makes sense. Let's talk income for a moment, if we could. If you are going to maybe get a little bit more money, maybe you got a raise, a bonus, what do we need to do to prepare for that?
Yeah, so it might have been a great year, right?
Yeah.
You might have exercised some stock options,
Sure.
took a buyout from a company, maybe you took a gain on a portfolio or real estate, and you're going to be facing a higher income this
Yeah.
year than you have in previous years. You can do what's called deduction bunching. So like paying your property taxes in advance.
Okay.
So you get twice as much the deduction now. Now you won't get them for next year, but next year you won't be in as high of an income bracket. So you want to use up all your deductions. So you would double up your property taxes for this year and next. You'd prepay them. And if you tithe the church or charity, you can double that up too. Okay, just let them know.
Just let them know. And you let us know. Thank you so much. As he mentioned, April 18th rather, is coming up soon. So make sure you get your taxes all set. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
.30 means it is time to recap the top 5 stories of the day here on 5 on 2. Winter weather still affecting the Miami Valley. That makes it top story number 1.
Just a chance of some more snow showers as we head into the evening hours, but there could be some icy patches on the road, so make sure you take it easy out there. This is a live look of the roads through Live Drive 2. Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis will take a closer look at your forecast in just a few minutes.
Top story number 2, a sad one. One of the kids injured in Monday's Haas fire in Huber Heights has now died. The Montgomery County coroner confirms to us that 10-year-old Tabitha Whetstone passed away at Dayton Children's Medical Center. Her mom and 4-year-old brother still hospitalized, trying to recover. Fire crews tell us that home did not have a working smoke detector. The fire remains under investigation.
Top story number 3, prosecutors and police still haven't met yet to discuss the charges for 34-year-old Brandon Carr. He is the man police believe is responsible for killing Brittany Russell. She was found shot in the head in her car on Free Pike in Dayton earlier this month. Her baby girl was unharmed in the back seat.
Top story number 4, the Ohio Department of Education releases its latest school report cards, and Dayton is failing. Dayton Public Schools, in fact, receiving Fs in 9 out of 10 possible categories. Other districts with failing scores include Trotwood, Springfield, Huber Heights, and Piqua. Meanwhile, districts that received A's include Centerville, Oakwood, and others. To see the complete list, check our website, WDTN.com.
And top story number 5, Nevada's Republican governor says he is not interested in being considered for the U.S. Supreme Court position. Governor Brian Sandoval's office issued a statement following news that the White House was considering him as a possible replacement for the late Justice Antonin Scalia. And that's a recap of our top 5 stories tonight on 5 on 2.
Now back to weather. The glimmer of good news is the winter weather advisory that's been in effect for several of our counties. It's now expired, but we could see a bit more precip tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis has another check of your Storm Team 2 forecast.
That's right, Mark, Katie. We're still watching a little bit of snow out there tonight, but really it looks like the accumulating snows have come to an end. The concern tonight, that moisture on the ground and temperatures dropping below freezing. The setting sun could mean some icy patches, so just kind of keep that in mind. But you can see the snow now mostly confined to US 42, 71, and 68, moving southeastward toward the Wilmington area. So Spring Valley seeing some of that snow down toward Cedar Creek Lake and into the Wilmington area, but otherwise this is quickly passing off to our south and east tonight. Right now in Dayton, 33 degrees. We had some reduced visibility about a half hour ago with that snow moving through, but things looking pretty good in downtown Dayton right now. But look at that west wind at 22. That'll still be gusty through the evening hours. So a low threat of winter weather, mainly because the threat of some of that ice developing overnight as temperatures drop. Still a couple of flurries around, but the accumulating snows have come to an end. Now we've been cold. It's time for the temperature jump again. You can tell we're getting to late winter and close to spring. I'll tell you how warm it's going to get over the weekend coming up in the Storm Team 2 forecast.
All right, Brian, thank you. We're keeping an eye on your evening commute.
2 News reporter Tyler Utzka riding passenger right now in Live Drive 2. Tyler, how's the evening commute where you are?
Hey, Mark and Katie, we're heading west on 35 now. The precipitation seemed to have stopped, but my driver telling me that it is pretty windy. Not right now because we're at a red light, though. He's saying he's kind of going back and forth with the steering wheel. But authorities telling us that refreeze is a possibility tonight, so of course make sure to slow down. Be a kind driver out there. Expect the unexpected and drive defensively. Rather, make sure that you're watching other drivers around you, because especially at bridges and overpasses. I think we're approaching a bridge right now, matter of fact. But if there's precipitation out there, and of course the sun going down, temperatures get lower. Possible for black ice and some slick spots out there. So keep an eye out for that. For now, live, Tyler Utzka, 2 News, working for you.
Meanwhile, happening now in South Carolina, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's supporters are gathering for her latest campaign event. You see one of the early speakers talking right now. She's holding a Get Out the Vote event at a hotel in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Her rival Bernie Sanders, in the meantime, held an event here in Northeast Ohio earlier today. Now, as for the remaining GOP contenders, they all gather to debate tonight in Houston, and that showdown could go a long way toward deciding the eventual Republican nominee. Jay Gray at the University of Houston with a preview of tonight's debate.
Frontrunner Donald Trump travels to Texas with growing momentum.
We might not even need the 2 months, folks, to be honest, all right?
And the rest of the Republican field desperately trying to slow him down.
His 3 chief opponents all have to run in their home states, and Trump could beat them all.
Which means the stakes and tension in tonight's debate will be high with Marco Rubio.
The vast and overwhelming majority of Republicans do not want Donald Trump to be our nominee.
And Ted Cruz taking shots at the frontrunner.
We can't be fooled by P.T. Barnum. The time for the clowns and the acrobats and the dancing bears has passed.
But many analysts warn the time for other GOP candidates to block a Trump nomination is running out.
You've got the Washington Post with a stunning editorial this morning about stopping Trump. They feel there is some urgency now to stop Trump, and that would create some sort of historic rush toward them in the final days and weeks.
History that, either way, will begin to play out when the Republicans walk onto this stage at the University of Houston in just a few hours.
Well, spring workouts continue for the Reds. Sports director Jack Pohl says despite many folks predicting a rough season for the young team, the club isn't waving any white flags.
Thanks a lot. You know, one thing is for certain here at Red Spring Training in Goodyear, Arizona. Despite the team in full rebuilding mode, optimism remains high. And this team isn't about to accept losing on any level.
You know, I think people say, well, you're just conceding the season. We're not conceding the season. What we're doing is we're going to give our young players an opportunity to develop, which means I will not be throwing the life ring out. I will not be pinch hitting for some of our young players every time there's a tough at bat that they've got to take against an end of the game, setup man or closer. There's going to be times I allow young starters to pitch through some adversity in the middle of the game. Those are things that we have to do if these guys are going to develop into the type of major leaguers that can win a World Series.
Coming up in sports at 6 o'clock, you will hear from the man behind the Reds rebuilding project, General Manager Dick Williams. At Red Spring Training in Goodyear, Arizona, I'm Jack Pohl. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Jack, thank you. Hundreds of students sickened in a norovirus outbreak at Miami University in Oxford. It's the latest U.S. school to be hit by the highly contagious virus. It's also affected 100 students at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. The University, Miami, urging students to step up hygiene efforts. Norovirus symptoms include vomiting, diarrhea, and nausea, but most people do recover in about 1 to 3 days. And some good news today about this year's flu vaccine. The CDC says people who have received the vaccine are now 59% less likely to actually get the flu. That is much better than last year when that vaccine was only about 23% effective. The experts say flu activity is still on the upswing and could continue for several more weeks.
More to come here on 5 on 2, including something to rev your engine. The Dayton Auto Show is back in town. What's new this year?
And I'm Natalie Tendall with 2 News Investigates. Coming up, we're looking at a new list of rejected license plates, and I'll explain why this particular one was denied.
Well, if you're a car guy or a girl like me, the Dayton Auto Show has rolled in the Miami Valley with plenty of new features this year. For the first time in the event's long history, you can actually test drive several vehicles right outside of the Dayton Convention Center. The cars range in price from the mid-teens to $150,000. Organizers say that about 70% of those who attend then typically buy a car within the next year, and they're hoping even more sales will be driven by those test drives.
But you also can see how they ride by doing that. There's also a difference in how it handles. So especially with the kind of slippery, rainy weather today, maybe that's really great to see how that Tundra handles it.
The event expected to draw more than 10,000 people. Admission is $8. It runs through Sunday.
Some Bravo and Brio restaurants could soon be closing. Our partners at the Dayton Business Journal report the Columbus-based restaurant group might not renew the leases of a handful of locations this year. The company has more than 50 Bravo eateries and more than 60 Brio grills. That includes 3 in the Dayton region. The restaurant group says it could relocate some restaurants in the same market and renovate others.
And happening now in the Miami Valley, a hiring event for Frial Glass America, the auto glass manufacturer, hoping to hire about 1,000 more people this year. The recruitment event runs from now until 8 p.m. It's tonight up at Troy High School. If you can't make it up there, you can still fill out the application online, and we posted the link you need on our website, WDTN.com. Just search for Frial.
Still to come here on 5 on 2, rejected license plates. Hundreds of personalized requests denied every year. Natalie Tyndall with 2 News Investigates joins us to look at how the BMV makes those decisions.
And an act of kindness from a local fire department, a great example of what's working in the Miami Valley tonight.
And we've had snow showers falling throughout the day across our region, but not much in the way of accumulation. It was melting about as fast as it fell. A roller coaster weather week ahead for the region, and I'll have the details coming up in your Storm Team 2 forecast.
The Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles rejects hundreds of personalized license plate requests every year.
Now, this is a story that 2 News Investigates first brought you last year. Natalie Tyndall back now with the latest list of denied plates and explain how the BMV makes those decisions.
Well, that's right. The BMV is looking at a few different criteria when deciding whether or not to reject a plate. But before I tell you what they are, we're going to play a little game here. And you guys got to decide kind of what you think happened here.
And we have not seen these.
We get to be the BMV.
You get to be the BMV. This is what they do every single
experiment.
day.
Okay.
They go through this list. So let's take a look at that first one.
Okay.
It's XXK, XXXK. Why do you think they denied it?
I have no idea.
I'm honestly, I have no idea either.
Now, this is one of those where they don't like the combination of those letters. X's and K's don't really go well together because they're afraid of hate speech, KKK, that was
thing. Yeah, initially.
That, and also, it's also hard for law enforcement to see.
Right.
You
to tell
can't
which
really
character is which.
Yeah, decide
exactly.
what is a K and what's an X.
Okay. Now,
and that's one of their criteria, is it can't be offensive to provoke a violent response from somebody. So let's take a look at the second one. And this is... Red Rum.
Red Rum. Backwards murder. Yeah.
Exactly, The Shining.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that they really have to look at because some of these people who are submitting these are tricky. They're trying to get you to read it backwards, and you can see that in a mirror, and it says murder, just like The Shining.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So that's the
How would
other
you want that for your
criteria. It
license
cannot
plate?
contain profanity or sexual explicit words.
Okay.
So let's look at that
Another
last
one?
One more?
One more.
Okay.
All right, this Get Baked.
I'm assuming that's not Betty Crocker driving that car.
BKED, bikes.
Now, I was going to say, as a cyclist, I'm thinking that says get biked.
There you go.
That is their job, and that's why it's tricky, because sometimes you really they have to talk to the customer to say, hey, what did you mean by this? They really have to answer a lot of questions about that. Or if it's, maybe on a car that holds a bike rack, that, I don't know. It's a hard job.
They're not talking about baking a cake in this case,
yeah.
just so we're all clear on that.
It's not cookies and it's
But if
not
it's an
It's
illegal
not.
substance and they're thinking it might mean that, then it's denied.
It's
So
really
that's
interesting,
kind of
and it's interesting to hear what people try to get by.
Oh, it is.
I mean,
it is, yes.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was telling you, I saw one the other day that I believe is a profane word in another language. And I'm kind of surprised they got that one slipped by.
And that's why they have a whole group of people of different ages, backgrounds, and they're Googling a lot, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah, but coming up in just a little bit, I'll take you inside one of those meetings held every day at the BMV, and so you can see in how they decide which ones pass and which ones were denied.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Natalie, look forward to it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, well, let's check out that. That was kind of fun, wasn't it? All right, let's check out that forecast for this evening. A few flurries, few snow showers passing southeast of us now. Generally, just some cloud cover as we go through the evening, a slight chance of flurries. Temperatures will be dropping down a little bit below freezing, and with the setting sun, that means there could be some icy patches out there. Just had a report from a viewer up in Champaign County, 161, some drifting snow, creating some icy spots on the roadway up there. So keep that in mind if you're out traveling around, especially over the countryside and especially north of town. 27 degrees tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock with cloudy skies, a slight chance of some of those flurries during the day. We may even see some breaks in the clouds late day, 33 at 5 o'clock, and a clearing trend tomorrow night. That'll set the stage for some pretty nice weather for the upcoming weekend. 1 inch of snow today. We had a ½ inch before midnight last night, so 1.5 inches from this system finally pushed us up into the double digits, over 10 inches now in our snowfall for the season, but we're still 8 inches below normal. The rainfall yesterday was a record setter, so we've really taken the rainfall total pretty high there for the month of February, well above normal. And looking at the forecast, low temperatures tonight with some breaks in the clouds north of us, a little more snow on the ground. 18 Toledo, 21 in Lima, but looks like we'll drop down the mid-20s here, upper 20s down south as you head towards Cincinnati. Some of the peak wind gusts today, 37 in Dayton, so as I mentioned there, we were pegging between 35, 40 miles per hour, 35 at Muncie and Indianapolis, 33 down at Cincinnati, South Bend, Indiana, 37, but some of the stronger winds, Parkersburg and Charleston, West Virginia, over the 40-mile-an-hour mark. Right now, your wind speeds are still moving at about 20, still around 20 to 25 at 8 o'clock, but watch those winds drop off as we head through the night, down to about 9 miles per hour in the morning on our future track forecast, and about 12 during the day tomorrow, so certainly not as much wind coming up for Friday. Looks like sky conditions improving out there. Roads even drying out a bit on the Bryant Heating and Cooling camera up on Poe Avenue. We had some snow earlier there, and also some snow earlier on the Stall Vision camera, even a wet camera lens, but it looks like that's drying out too now that the snow has moved off to the southeast. Just some leftover clouds over downtown Dayton. Off to the southeast of us we go, and we are seeing snow still falling down in Clinton County around Wilmington, extending back eastward towards Cedar Creek Lake and out into the eastern part of Warren County. Some more flurries, snow showers trying to get going up there in Wisconsin, southern Lake Michigan, and the state of Michigan. All that's moving southeastward, so we will see see that chance of flurries come back later tonight. 33 currently, west wind 22, feels like 21, and your future track forecast showing some of the blue on the map there again later tonight and tomorrow, but we should have at least some breaks in the clouds, I think, on Friday, and then a clearing trend moving in for Friday night. That means a cold morning Saturday, but a lot of sunshine as we get started on the weekend. Temperatures tonight slowly dropping off into the mid and upper 20s, down to 25 at 7 o'clock. Breezy and cold overnight. That'll be our low temperature too. Northwest wind still breezy, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, chance of flurries tomorrow with a high of 34. And we'll check out that Storm Team 2 7-day forecast. 45 on Saturday, but look at that high on Sunday, up near 60 degrees. We'll be about 15 to 20 degrees above normal, but turning colder on Monday. Could see an early morning rain or snow shower, then drying out. A chance of rain showers late Tuesday as it warms up again, and then turning colder again on Wednesday with a chance of rain and snow showers. Mark, Katie?
All right, we hope you keep it right here for 2 News at 6, just a few minutes away.
Right, coming up, Only 2 News will be talking with a man who officers say tried to rob a store overnight before he was recognized by the clerk. What he had to say to our cameras. And the story of a carbon monoxide poisoning survivor, how a hospital worker saved her life. A great example of what's working in the Miami Valley minutes away when Katie and I bring you 2 News at 6.
Still to come here, though, on 5 on 2. There could be some slick spots out there on the roads tonight. We'll have another look at your commute through Live Drive 2. It's coming up.
Well, as you know, we've been keeping a close eye on the road conditions for you throughout this evening commute.
Let's get one last update from 2 News reporter Tyler Utska. He's riding passenger in Live Drive 2.
Well, hi, Mark and Katie. We are in Beaver Creek on North Fairfield Road, making our way back to 35. If you look up, you can see the sky is pretty dark, but nothing is coming from it. We haven't seen any precipitation coming for about the last half hour now, but the roads are a little bit damp, and of course authorities concerned that we do have the possibility of some refreeze, so they're always asking you to, in times like this, to be aware of refreeze and always use caution whenever you're driving, but especially if you're going to be driving over an overpass or a bridge, because of course those are the first things when you're driving to freeze over. So be aware of that, but as for right now, we're just getting back on the road again, and we'll give you another update at 6 o'clock. We're going to send it back to you, Mark and Katie.
An act of kindness from a local fire department is an example of what is working in the Miami Valley tonight. The Franklin Fire Department posted this photo onto its Facebook page today. Members say the crew rescued this dog trapped in an underground pit of very cold water. They say they were able to return the dog to her family because she was wearing proper identification. Dayton International Airport has a new crew member. This is Kita, a 16-month-old chocolate golden doodle. She is the airport's first therapy dog. Kita now makes weekly trips to the airport to provide comfort to travelers and their families. She was raised as a service dog by the nonprofit 4 Paws for Ability in Xenia.
That's great. We need one of those in the newsroom. All right, if you're a late-night TV viewer, keep a close eye out for a piece of the Miami Valley on the air tonight because one of our WDTN station coffee mugs, you see it there on the left, will be on Seth Meyers' desk during his late-night show tonight. So keep an eye out for that as we mug Seth Meyers
on
live TV.
That will be its second appearance. Because,
that's right.
Yeah, we've made a cameo on the show before.
We should have sent a couple of our pencils with the logo, too.
Right.
You could put that in the cup.
Let's just load it up. Yeah. Why stop? Right. Well, we've heard from some people, especially in the northern part of the Miami Valley, that they're having some drifting snow.
Right. A little more snow on the
spots.
ground up there.
Yeah.
And temperature's been cold enough, and a little bit of snow falling, some drifting out there, those gusty winds. Could be some icy patches, but really that could happen anywhere, even the spots that we aren't seeing some drifting as temperatures drop below freezing this evening. But it looks like the bulk of the snow coming to an end. I'll tell you about a weekend warm-up here just a few minutes from now.
Yep, that does it for us on 5 on 2.
A few minutes from now is 2 News at 6. Keep it here.